Hello, fellow ink drinkers, and welcome back to the Blind Girls Book Talk podcast. My name is Aria.
And I'm Belle.
And we are two legally blind sisters who love reading and love books. And so what we've done is we've created this show in order to talk about that. We talk about a wide variety of bookish content, and that can range from bad retellings of stories, book to movie adaptation comparisons, buddy reads, recent reads, bookish challenges. Really, the list does go on. And today we're back. We are finally back after being gone for probably about a month at this point, maybe a little over a month at this point. And so essentially we wanted to explain why we were gone, because we do think that you guys deserve a little bit of an explanation, and just so you have context about what has been happening these past couple weeks. Now, I will say we're not going to go into things like super in-depth. We are going to do kind of a full in-depth of everything that happened over on It's a Blind Life, our other show. So if you want that, that's the episode to go to. But this is kind of the abridged version because this is more about books and stuff. So it didn't feel quite right to do like a full in-depth thing for book talk. So, that being said, it all started back in, it started at the beginning of summer, but technically for this bout of things that happened, it started at the end of July, beginning of August.
Well, let's also preface that, the stuff that started earlier in the summer was all me.
Yes.
It was all me. I was the problem. It was me. After finals, my body just gave out on me.
Yes. And of course, if you remember a couple months ago, it was just me doing episodes, and it was because a lot of things were going on with Belle, but I was able to hold down the fort, and it was okay.
Good job.
Now we get to what happened recently. And so we actually have 2 episodes that were recorded, but essentially when we went home, because we had some appointments we needed to go to, I had no time. And you might think that that's an exaggeration and be like, oh, you could have found some time. No. I was going from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night every day, nonstop. Fully appointments to visiting people to getting the things together that I needed to get together. It was a full on nonstop go every single day. There was something going on every day, and we were only home for a week.
Yeah, and it may sound because I know there are times when Aria has gone home more so than me because Aria has the time. So you're probably like, oh, she had time to meet people, when she goes home by herself. This was the first time since we left home that we were both home together.
Right.
So it was a lot of people who wanted to see both of us that we didn't get a chance to see at all.
Yeah. We probably could have been home for a month and still not gotten through everything that we needed to get through. And so it was just crazy. And it was pure, unadulterated chaos. Just so many things going on. And then pretty much we came back down to where we're living. And essentially, we were starting to try to get things together here at the house, getting ready for Belle to go back to school, trying to get things just set and ready to go. And then our mom had a little bit of a health issue, and she actually ended up having to go to the ER. She is okay, but given everything that we needed to get done, that just was not in the cards. So a lot of things didn't get done that needed to get done. So that was the second week of August.
Oh, while that's happening, I'm trying out for stuff for school. So, we were having a great time.
Yeah, we were having a great time.
I had to be the one to get our dad plane tickets down here, and
it was a whole thing that we had to figure out. And of course, it's all right before Belle goes back to school. Belle goes back to school, which was the third week of August, right? And
which that in itself was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Life blew up for
Life
me.
really did.
It changed. So, I tried out for something. Okay. Whatever. Didn't make it. Whatever. Within the span of 24 hours, I was this is Sunday night. Start school on Monday. I did all of my readings for the week. Everything. And I get a call that I made the team because the one person didn't accept the invitation to join. So then in a span of 24 hours, I wasn't on the team, and then I was. So, that changed everything.
Yeah. And then, because it's a new year and it's a new schedule and stuff, we're still getting adjusted to the schedule and to everything else. And then the last week of August, it was more of the same. It was just adjusting. And also in, the third and fourth week of August for me, it was kind of decompressing, resting, and taking the time, because essentially going nonstop for 2 weeks, it's a lot. It takes out a lot. And Belle can attest, I didn't feel like doing much of anything. I've recently gotten into crochet. I didn't want to crochet. I didn't want to read. I did not want to do a single solitary thing.
And you had the luxury to be able to do that.
Yes, I did. I did
not have that luxury.
You did not. I will fully admit that I had the luxury to be able to do that. Belle didn't, but we've kind of been trying to carve out time for Belle to give her full rest days to try to help to mitigate some of this. But she's had some crazy weeks so far. We're only getting ready to go into the third week of school.
Last week was horrible. And if I sound different, it's because I caught something from my professor. I love her, but she got me sick. If she somehow finds this, I highly doubt it. I mean, you probably don't realize this is me. I do love you, but you got me sick.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a whole thing, a whole kit and caboodle. So I think you're caught up for this week, right? You're ready to go.
Minus my extra class on Saturday.
Okay, but
which is dumb.
You have time for that, though.
Yeah, he didn't even submit the reading assignment. And I just have some other assignments that are due later in the week. But we'll carve out time to do them. On the bright side, I don't have the one light class on Thursday this week.
Good.
It's my off week for that class. Why it couldn't have been last week? Oh my goodness.
That was a whole time, but we'll go into detail.
Yeah,
with that
that's a different thing.
For Blind Life. But yeah, so all in all, it's just been very crazy. And this is the first time in a month that I've been able to be like, hey, Belle, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to record this and we're going to get it done. Now, that being said, as I've said previously and as I've said, we've said before, this might become a show that does not upload very frequently. I'm going to do my best to make sure that it does, but there are going to be some times that this may not go the way it has been going. Well, I mean, ever since we moved,
let's be real here. Ever since I started law school.
Yeah, it's not been the easiest thing to do, but we've been doing it. We've been making it work. But there just may be some times where things get skipped, and that's okay. I'm going to try to keep things kind of even between Blind Life and Book Talk. They're not going to be unequally skipped, if that makes sense. If I'm missing a Blind Life episode, I'm going to be missing a Book Talk episode. it's just going to even out in the wash because we don't love one show more than the other. We love them both equally. And so, yeah, it's just going to be what it is. We're going to do our best to get some fun things out for you guys, some things that are very enjoyable. We do have some very fun episodes in the works that I'm very excited for. It'll just be a matter of when they come out because, again, things have been pushed around.
Things have been pushed around.
So
Things
much.
are crazy. And also, as we've said before, my year and schedule for the year is insane. Like, I'm doing things we didn't think I'd be doing. I'm grateful for the opportunities this is giving me, but, like, you know, things changed multiple times in a matter of hours for me. So it's, like, partly my fault because I now have a lot more responsibilities.
Well, no, not your fault. It's more just like we had a plan.
Yeah.
And then the plan got changed. And then the plan got changed again. And then the plan got changed again. And it's been so hard to plan anything at this point. Because every time we're like, okay, we have a tentative plan. We're gonna go do this. Everything explodes. Everything explodes.
Everything explodes, and, like, a lot of my time is focused on school right now. Like, that is main focus. Like, anybody who has done law school or is in law school can understand.
Or even grad school.
Or just grad school in general.
Yeah.
It is.
For Belle, her priority is school right now, which as it should be. We will do the best that we can to kind of keep things the same. But again, there might be some episodes where it's just me, and that's okay. There might be some episodes that we skip. There might be some weeks that there just isn't an episode. And that's...
I can tell you there will never be an episode of just me.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no.
That's never going to happen.
There never will be. No.
I don't think anybody wants that, but...
Yeah, no, there never will be, and that's also okay. It doesn't have to be like a whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, it is okay for it to be how it is right now.
Yeah. Also, this isn't a paid job. We're doing this for fun.
Right, exactly. We're doing this for fun. We always have been doing this for fun. I've treated it like a job because I needed something to do, and it's been a very good outlet for me. But also, we're doing this purely for fun unless somebody really likes us and decides to sponsor us or something. Like, hey, I will never say no. But we're doing this for fun. And at the end of the day, when everything was kind of blowing up and going crazy and I didn't have the mental capacity to try to edit a podcast episode, not gonna lie, I felt really bad because I like doing the podcast. I have fun doing it. But I also realized that, like, I also needed to take that time for me because if I didn't, and if I would have tried to find 5 minutes here and there to edit the podcast and nickel and dime it through to get it done, it would not have been a good episode for you guys, and I would have burnt myself out, and I would have hated doing this. And I never want to hate doing these episodes because they are really fun. We have a lot of fun doing them. So, yeah, that's pretty much where it is. Again, we are sorry that things are crazy and that things are changing, but also life does need to be a bit more of a priority at this point. Unless, of course, this becomes like an income thing, in which case, you know, hey, we'll make time. But
yeah, if it becomes an income thing,
that.
which I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. This is the first podcast we started together, and the whole reason we started this is to bring us closer. And it all started on me being like, "Yo, Aria, what's up with the Raven?"
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's one phone conversation that was the whole reason we started this show. And I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for the show. And again, I love doing this, but it also can't be the end all be all as much as I want it to be. Because at the end of the day, if this is no longer fun, then we've lost the plot somewhere, and that's not okay. this first and foremost needs to be fun. It needs to be fun for you guys. It needs to be fun for us. That is what it needs to be.
It's also a difference of also when we started this podcast, I was in college 12 hours away and we'd bulk record whenever I was home for a break. And that was the time that me and Arya got to spend together. Like, it was sectioned off as our time so that, you know, like, we could have our own time together. Well, now we live together again.
Yep.
I dragged her with me. So, like, we talk to each other all the time. And, like, granted, not all of our conversations are book related. Most of our conversations at this point in life are not book related. It is a lot of me being like, Arya, guess what? And I will name some really weird thing. The other day, it was a whole conversation on my hatred for carjacking cases. Different points in life take you down different roads. Not saying that I still don't love talking about books, because I do, says the girl whose front of her bed is covered up by bookcases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a part of both of our lives. It's just being in a different point in life. Not that we're going to stop this. It's just there are going to be times when we're going to be on a break, or Ari is going to be like, I want to talk about this. I'm going to be like, well, I don't have time because I have to do XYZ for the team or my job or actual classwork. So, like, you can do it. It's just a difference in the point in our lives of when we started this.
Yeah, versus now. And, like, again, it's okay for things to change. It might seem
Says
like
the girls who hate change.
I know. But in this case, we aren't trying to change it just for the sake of change. We are trying to change it purely for the fact that in order to keep this going,
in order to sustain this for years to possibly come,
we need to do what we need to do now in the immediate future. We just need to do what we need to do to get through it.
That also does not mean it will always be like this.
No, it does not. It might be like when things go crazy, there might be just like a once a year, like, hey, this is where we are. So that way you guys know, for anybody who follows this show pretty frequently, you'll know what's going on. You'll be able to understand where we're coming from. And we also have a lot of old episodes at this point. This is episode 100 and something. You know what I mean? So there are old episodes to go back and listen to. They're there. They're not going to come down.
Some of them may be rough.
Yeah, some may be very, very rough. But they are there for you. And there's also Blind Life, too. Again, we don't have quite as many episodes yet because that's only coming up on a year that we've been doing it. And we started that show at a much lower rate of output than we did for Book Talk.
Yeah, because Book Talk started, originally it started over Thanksgiving when Arya and our parents came down to visit me at college, and we spent Thanksgiving in my apartment together.
Mm-hmm.
And we would lock ourselves in my tiny dorm room because Arya stayed with me,
mm-hmm.
and our parents had a hotel very close by, probably 5 minutes-ish away. And, they'd come in the morning, everything was fine, no big deal type deal, but, we'd close ourselves in my tiny room.
And we started recording.
And we just started recording.
And we started planning. And we started
we had planning phone calls before. And then we sat down and bulk recorded a good bit of episodes.
A good bit, yeah.
So then over Christmas, we just bulk recorded more.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just kind of where that started.
Yeah, exactly. This show evolves. Everything in life changes and evolves. And like we said, in order to keep this going, we just need to take a different little bit of an evolution. And we appreciate all the support. We appreciate the patience. We appreciate everything you guys do on your end of just listening to this and understanding and being patient. And it will take time, but we will get through it. It'll be okay. We're still planning to be here. It just might not be as often as I would like or what Belle would like, but we've got to do what we got to do. And all in all, That's all we can do. You know what I mean? There's not much more that we can do to change things. So we just got to roll with the punches at this point. So that being said, again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming on the whole podcast journey with us if you've been listening for a very long time, but also for just listening to this episode on our abridged version of where we've been. Of course, if you like this episode, if you like what you've been listening to, please consider following the podcast and sharing the episode with your friends. It really would help us to grow the show, and we would appreciate that support greatly. And if not, hey, totally get it. I'm not going to fault anyone for that if they don't want to.
Nope.
And then next time...
We're not even going to do that anymore because who knows what next time's going to be.
Yeah, next time, we don't know. If it gets to a point where I'm like, hey, I know exactly what next time's going to be, I'll tell you. But I believe next time, whatever I recorded previously before our worlds blew up, that will be, I'm going to try to put that episode out next to also give maybe Belle a little bit of time too. So that way we're not rushing around like chickens with our heads removed. But yeah, so that being said, thank you again so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.